Hey guys, it's Joel. I'm back with another beginner tip for you. Last time we talked about how to evenly heat your pipe. And I told you about a heating trough, but I didn't really show you anything. So this is all you need. Nothing special. Magic. See, magic. All you need is something with tinfoil wrapped around it. Nothing major. That's a piece of cardboard with tinfoil. And it works fantastically. It will cut your time down into half. So if you even heat, you don't have to worry about having cold spots in the bow. And cold spots, what happens is a lot of you are like, oh, my limbs curl at the end. What am I supposed to do about that? Even heat it. You don't have to worry about that curling in the limb. Put it down, straighten it out, and you're done. So this week's tip, or not week, this tip is going to be about how to flatten it. A lot of people will go completely flat on their limbs and wonder why they have no draw weight. Well, PVC pipe gets its strength from its cross section. And what I mean by cross section is this is perfectly round. When you squish it, it gets an oval shaped cross section. And the bigger it is, the closer it is to being round, the stronger it is to an extent. Perfectly round isn't quite as strong as like a slightly tapered pipe. But anyways, what you need to do is get an even taper from near the handle section or wherever you're starting your taper to the flat section all the way out at the tip. Now you don't have to go completely flat at the tip. If you want a really strong bow, you can adjust that. But for almost everyone, you want to completely flatten the tip. And the biggest problem I had in the beginning was getting an even tiller. And what I mean by an even tiller is ensuring that the bow limbs themselves bend evenly, like this, instead of having one limb that's like really strong and one that's really weak. So you get this really strangely shaped, like a harp. You know, it's got a big wide section and then comes down to a very poor non-bending limb. So the reason why I had problems with that was the flattening jig that I used in the beginning. It was a 1x4, a pine 1x4, and I saw this in one of Nick, the Backyard Bowyer's videos, and this is how I started. I don't like it, and I'll tell you why. 1x4, you can't really see it, but 1x4 kind of bends, and when you kneel on it, which is how I flatten them, is by kneeling on them. When you kneel on it, if you don't kneel in the exact same place every single time, the board bends at different rates, and that causes you to get an uneven taper. Well, uneven taper causes all kinds of problems. It causes poor tillering first and foremost, but then it leads you to being prone to hinging because you put more pressure in one area of the limb versus the other end, so you get a thinner profile right there. So what I did to correct that, and I don't know if I saw it in a video or if I thought of it. I probably saw it somewhere because I'm not real smart. But what I did was switch to a 2x4. Now this is a 30-inch section of 2x4. Actually, I think it's like 29.5. I had it lying around. My manager was going from work one day and this bit of wood was sitting there, so I wrote John on it and put it in his chair because he was kind of like talking to a piece of wood. But anywho, this does not bend when you kneel on it. No matter what, I get an even taper with this. I heat the way I showed in the earlier video, and using this gives you an even taper no matter where you kneel on it. And I know what you're thinking. Well, what if my limb's not 30 inches or 29.5 inches like my board is? Doesn't matter. When you do this, the limb will actually only go to the flattest amount that the limb will go. Schedule 40 will collapse down so much. Schedule 80 is thicker, and then SDR 21 is pointless for a bow. Don't use it. But when you use, no matter where it ends, if it ends right here, this is going to be the flattest section. If it ends right here, it's going to be the flattest section. If it ends here, that's going to be the flattest section. You're going to get an even taper. Now, if you got an unbelievably low battery, if you got a really, really short limb, like, you know, I've even made a crossbow prod that was only 30 inches, so it had 15, not even 15 inches. It had a 4-inch center section that had a, I don't know what's 15 by, it had an 11-inch limb on it. I told you I'm not very smart. An 11-inch limb, and I tapered it with this, and it came out perfect. I mean, and that thing bent, and it works as a bow. My dad has it on a crossbow right now. It pulls 70 pounds. But what I'm trying to get at is if you evenly heat using the procedure I showed earlier, and then you use a good tapering jig, your bows are going to come out right to begin with. Now you can screw them up by reheating them and putting some bends in them, and that's something I'm going to talk about in probably the next video. But for now, all we're talking about is the flattening jig. So all this is a 2x4. It's got some 1/2 inch or 13 millimeter bolts, depending upon where you are, whatever you like to use. These are coarse threaded bolts. I literally just drilled the hole into the wood. I didn't put a threaded insert in. I threaded the bolts in very carefully. They tapped the wood for me and created their own threads. I've been using this for probably 6 months and haven't looked back. But anyways, I'm probably going to cut that thing up and use it for something, but who knows, maybe a flattening, like a clamp or something. But anyways, I hope this helps you out. I hope these tips are worthwhile. If you like them, I'll keep them coming. If not, I'll keep them coming because I'm bored. But anyways, hope to see you guys on the Google Plus community, PVC Archery and Crafting. I'm going to say thanks to everybody who's watching. If you need any other tips, want to see something specific, let me know. Other than that, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you out shooting.